A skin disorder that destroys the pigmentation of the skin is something that I cannot help. Okay, but when people make up stories that I don't want to be who I am, it hurts me.
Some of the wildest plastic surgery fails happened before Instagram was even a thing. Long before filters and Photoshop, some people in the 90s were obsessed with having the perfect look. But not everyone came out looking picture perfect. Getting a nip or tuck might seem like a modern obsession, like something born from influencer culture. But the truth is that we've been trying to reshape, lift, and smooth our features for years. In the 90s, technology was booming. The internet was taking off, and suddenly, information about plastic surgery was just a click away. For some, plastic surgery was about self-expression or fixing something that bothered them. For others, it became an all-consuming quest to look like their favorite celebrity or, in some cases, a completely different person altogether. And with that rise in demand came a rise in risks and disasters. Botched nose jobs, overfilled lips, faces pulled too tight. The 90s gave us some of the most notorious plastic surgery fails that were tabloid gold. So today, we're rewinding the tape to the 90s and looking at the most extreme plastic surgery fails of the decade. Jocelyn Wildenstein. Jocelyn Wildenstein, dubbed Catwoman by the tabloids, was one of the most talked about faces in the world of extreme plastic surgery. During her life, she claimed in an interview with The Sun, "I haven't had plastic surgery. I am scared of what can happen. Sometimes it is a bit heavy and terrible." Wait, what? Wildenstein was a Swiss socialite, once married to billionaire art dealer Alec Wildenstein. She became a tabloid fixture in the late 90s. Their marriage was lavish, scandalous, and according to Vanity Fair, included his and her eye lifts just a year in. But it was said that her infamous transformation began at his request. Alec reportedly had a thing for big cats, lynxes to be exact. Jocelyn, eager to please, supposedly started her metamorphosis with surgeries to give her feline features. Over the years, reports had claimed she underwent everything: brow lifts, facelifts, lip plumping, chin augmentation, cheek implants, fat grafting, even canthopexy, which is a surgery that gives eyes a more upward, cat-like tilt. Some called it art, others called it a tragedy. Either way, you couldn't look away. Sadly, she died hours before her New Year's celebration on Tuesday, the 31st of December, 2024, at her home in Paris. She was just 79. Lolo Ferrari. Lolo Ferrari was a spectacle, with the largest breasts in the world and a look that turned heads on sight. She dominated late-night screens in the 90s, becoming the unforgettable star of Channel 4's cult show, Eurotrash. Born Eve Valois, her childhood was anything but glamorous. Her mother once called her ugly and stupid. She left school early, craving escape, and by 17, she had fallen into the arms of Eric Vigny, a man 22 years her senior and fresh out of prison. He would later become her husband, her manager, and the mastermind behind her transformation. Eric basically engineered her plastic surgery. He measured, calculated, and designed Lolo's body like a blueprint, even bringing in a Boeing 747 engineer to build her implants. Over 5 relentless years, she underwent the knife again and again. 22 breast surgeries, growing from 37D to a staggering 54K. Each breast held 3 liters of surgical serum and weighed over 6 pounds. But she didn't stop there. Lolo had 25 more procedures: nose, lips, cheeks, stomach, all in pursuit of an image that was never really hers. With a body like hers, fame came fast. She danced, posed, and acted in adult films. She smiled for the cameras, hiding years of pain. Then, in 2007, at just 37 years old, Lolo was found dead in her bed. Her husband claimed she was unwell the night before, but hours later, she was stone cold. He was arrested for murder, accused of mechanically induced suffocation, and spent 13 months behind bars. Michael Jackson. For every moonwalk Michael Jackson gave us, there was a question he never answered. A genius on stage, but a man constantly editing himself. In the 70s, the world met him as the cherub-faced star of the Jackson 5. Magnetic, angelic, and unstoppable. But even then, his brother Jackie once said, Michael was already wearing a mask. He wanted a new nose. That's how it started. Over the years, his reflection became almost unrecognizable. His skin tone lightened, his nose narrowed, his cheekbones sharpened, his jawline chiseled. Biographers and plastic surgeons reportedly estimate he underwent dozens, maybe even 100 procedures. Some say he was chasing symmetry. Others say he was running from the face that reminded him of his father. And while the world speculated, Michael remained silent, deflecting questions, denying surgeries, offering only fragments of truth. It was heartbreaking, really. He had vitiligo, he had lupus, but he also had an obsession with transformation, a need to disappear into the version of himself he thought the world would love. Whether he was trying to look like Diana Ross, escape the shadow of Joe Jackson, or simply vanish into reinvention, we may never truly know. Bogdanov twins. They were once the poster boys of French television, suave, intellectual, and mysteriously charming. Igor and Grichka Bogdanov were fascinating identical twins with noble Russian roots and a shared passion for space, science fiction, and all things extraterrestrial. They brought cosmology to life on French TV in the 1970s. But something changed. By the late 90s, as they approached their 50s, the Bogdanovs began to transform. Slowly at first, a tweak here, a lift there. Then, almost like characters in one of their sci-fi programs, they started changing into something otherworldly. Chin implants, cheek implants, Botox fillers. Each procedure pushed them further from their original faces and closer to the bizarre. At Cannes, critics said they looked like a fusion of Kirk Douglas and Buzz Lightyear. One headline joked that their cheekbones were so bulbous they might block their own vision. But still, they denied it all. No plastic surgery, they claimed, just experiments. And maybe that's the strangest part of all, the fact that they embraced it. We're proud of having faces like extraterrestrials, they once said. In December 2021, the twins were both hospitalized with COVID-19, unvaccinated, and tragically vulnerable. Grichka passed away on December 28th. Igor followed just 6 days later. Donatella Versace. When you hear the name Donatella Versace, what's the first thing that comes to mind? Bold fashion, the golden age of 90s glam, or, let's be honest, her face? It's no secret that Donatella's appearance has sparked endless fascination, and let's just say, it's not always about the couture. Over the years, her look has become a topic all on its own. Transformative, dramatic, and for many, unrecognizable from her early days. But before we go down the surgery rabbit hole, let's rewind a bit. After the tragic death of her brother Gianni in 1997, Donatella stepped into the spotlight as the new face of Versace. Under all that pressure and public scrutiny, who wouldn't want to maintain a flawless image? That's where the whispers begin. Her skin became unnaturally tight. Her cheeks were now plump and high, and her lips, they became fuller. Critics and fans alike have guessed everything from facelifts and dermal fillers to cheek implants and lip augmentation. And while Donatella has never admitted to going under the knife, she has openly confessed to using Botox. Still, no matter what she's done, Donatella remains unapologetic and completely in control of her image. Joan Rivers. Joan Rivers had two great loves outside of her family: comedy and cosmetic surgery, and she wore both with an unapologetic pride. Her plastic surgery journey began early, an eye lift at 32, the same age she made her breakthrough on The Tonight Show with Johnny Carson. While some celebrities duck and dodge questions about work done, Joan brought it center stage and made it part of the act. Facelift? Check. Neck lift? Check. Eyelids, breast, tummy tuck? Check, check, and check again. Joan was candid about her 6-monthly routine with dermal fillers, treating them like a standing appointment at the hair salon. When asked why she was so open about it all, she shot back with her signature response. "We're in a society where looks count, and all the beautiful women lie and say I've done nothing. That is so unfair. I just want women to know it's okay. Do it." And when Anderson Cooper asked if it was true she'd had 734 procedures, Joan gasped in mock horror. "No, 739. To which her daughter Melissa chirped in, "She has a punch card." Without missing a beat, Joan added, "Every weekend, I go in and do something. You get a 10th one free. It's like coffee." She was joking. Probably. Ironically, it wasn't a cosmetic surgery that took Joan's life, but complications from a routine throat procedure at 81. And if heaven has a Botox clinic, Joan already is booked at Salad. Cher. Ever since she hit the scene in the 60s as one half of Sonny and Cher, Cher has been rewriting the rules of fame, fashion, and apparently aging. Because let's face it, Cher at 78 still looks younger than most of us felt at 25. While she's openly confessed to a nose job and a facelift, cosmetic experts believe that's just the tip of the surgical iceberg. According to some, Cher may have undergone everything from eye corner reshaping to fat transfers, veneers, and even multiple breast surgeries. And she's not shy about it either. In true Cher fashion, she once shrugged and said, "Yes, I've had a facelift. Who hasn't?" When it came to her breast enhancement, though, she was brutally honest. They were a nightmare, really botched in every way. If anything, they were worse after than before. But for Cher, plastic surgery is about joy. "It makes me happy," she said simply. "If something needs a tweak, she doesn't wait. I'd be the first one in line to the doctor," she once laughed. It runs in the family too. Her mother, Georgia Holt, got her own facelift at 56, and according to Cher, looked even better afterward. Jackie Stallone. Jackie Stallone was a psychic, socialite, and a mother to Hollywood action titan Sylvester Stallone. She had a personality as bold as her face, literally. Over the years, Jackie became just as famous for her eccentric spirit as she did for her plastic surgery. And while she always denied going too far, one look and you knew the scalpel didn't stop at subtle. In a refreshingly blunt interview with Reveal magazine, Jackie didn't hold back. When asked if she was still getting cosmetic procedures, she replied, "I do. And actually, I've got too much. I look like I've got a mouthful of nuts. I feel like I look like a chipmunk." She admitted to dabbling in chemical peels, fillers, and other treatments, but drew the line at Botox. "It wouldn't help the wrinkles I want gone," she explained, showing a surprising amount of nuance beneath the bravado. Despite the surgeries, and let's be real, there were many, and Jackie's face became a kind of wild legend in itself. Kim Novak. Kim Novak was once the very image of old Hollywood beauty, a cool, ethereal presence that lit up the screen in classics like Vertigo. But decades after stepping out of the spotlight, it wasn't her talent that made headlines. It was her face. When Kim appeared at a public event years after retiring, the internet did what it does best. It pounced. The comments were harsh, the jokes were cruel, and the woman now found herself at the center of a plastic surgery firestorm. But unlike many stars who hide behind vague denials, Kim came forward with honesty and regret. She admitted she hadn't had a facelift, but she had received fat injections in her face. And in her own words, it was the stupidest thing she'd ever done. She never needed it. Her face was naturally round, soft, and expressive. But the injections, meant to restore youth, overfilled her cheeks, distorting the very features that once defined her. "Too much," she said, "in all the wrong places." Celebrities continue to show us that fame and fortune might buy access to the best doctors, but not always the best results. One wrong injection, one overpulled lift, and suddenly the red carpet glow turns into a tabloid headline. Because in Hollywood, image is everything. Which of these transformations shocked you the most? Let us know in the comments below. If you enjoyed this deep dive into the wild world of 90s plastic surgery, Don't forget to like this video and subscribe for more fascinating stories from the past. Your support helps us bring more content like this to you.